Welcome to Creator to Leader. Are you struggling to connect with your ideal customers online? Are you confused about the most effective way to market your business? If you're ready to become the go-to expert in your industry and stand out from the crowd, this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Eugenia. That's Eugenia in Spanish, but you can call me E. My mission is to help entrepreneurs stand out online so that they can grow their businesses. I do this through comprehensive marketing strategies, impactful content plans, and storytelling leadership. We both know you are running on caffeine and big dreams, so let's dive right in. You know how I am with the guests for this podcast. I value your attention too much. So I know I bring you people that you will need a notebook from because this guest today I'm so excited for. She's such an incredible, fun person to listen to. So that's part number one. Part number two, she's going to transform the way your personal brand looks externally, the way you show up, and the way it looks authentically to you. So welcome, Sophia. She's a stylist and she's been doing this for years. She knows the ins and outs from the boutique. She knows the ins and outs from the shopper experience, the client. And I love that you know what's important for everyone. So welcome to Creator to Leader. I couldn't think of a better person to speak leadership-wise about the topic of your image.
Hi, thank you so much for welcoming me, for having me on your podcast. I am so excited to just chat and talk about all things style. Thank you so much.
What is something, before to frame this conversation, this is not a podcast about fashion. And a lot of times when entrepreneurs think about style, they say, oh, I'm not into fashion. I'm not into trends. But then at the same time, they're struggling with their image or there's something that's not connecting. And you created such an amazing explanation on why style is so important for entrepreneurs or personal brands, even if you don't consider yourself to be a fashion person.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get a lot of these clients to where they're like, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Or when they show up for their business and in any capacity, such as like networking or speaking engagement or something like that. They're like, yeah, I just threw on something and I showed up. And I'm like, okay, hold the phone. We can't just do that because, we're telling a story. We're telling a story about our business, about our, what we're doing. Are we successful? Like we are presenting ourselves in a way that you want everything to be aligned. We worked so hard in our businesses. I mean, me including as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you as well, Eugenia, that it's just, we work so hard. We don't want to miss the mark. We want to make sure that we're the full package. So appearance, unfortunately, plays a big part in that. You want to look the part, especially if you're the CEO and you've been in business for a long time. You don't want to come across looking or showing up as the intern. You don't want people to mistake you for the intern or anything. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be dressed to the nines or you need to be in a ball gown or in a three-piece suit. No, if that doesn't make sense for your business, then no, you shouldn't wear any of those things because then you're sending the wrong message. You want to make sure that your appearance and your style and the business at hand all coincides and it works together so that you're really telling the right story. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this aspect of storytelling is my favorite because that's how I see your personal brand is your story. You don't have to create a personal brand. The personal brand is already there. You just have to uncover it and polish it. And I feel like sometimes style is just the easiest way. And I want to pull this quote that I saw in, I think it was your Instagram. I loved what you said. It was a quote by Judith Ratsband. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Yeah, the way we dress affects the way we think, feel, and act, and the way others respond to us. So I'm like, why do you choose that quote, and how does that apply to the way you see style and the way you see the work you do for your clients?
Right. Okay. Great question. I think, well, the first part of how it affects how it affects us, right? When we look in the mirror, when first of all, I'm sure this has been said 100,000 times, when you get dressed, it makes you feel better. For the most part, it makes you feel better. It makes you maybe look the part of your business. It makes you, hold on. See, this is where I was like, I need to think this one through. Let me pull up the quote just because now sometimes I forget it. What was it?
Yeah, I think the way we dress affects the way we think, feel, and act, and the way others respond to us.
Yeah. So going back to the way we dress affects the way we think again. So going back to when we look in the mirror, are we happy with what we see, right? I think it sets the tone. It sets the mood for our mindset, for the way we want to show up. And then when we're in that correct space in our minds and our brains, and we're looking and we're feeling good, then we're going to magnetize our ideal client. We are going to magnetize and attract the people that we want around us. So I think that's really important that we're showing up in a way that speaks authentically. And the way that other people respond to us, you want to look credible. You want to look like, yeah, I own this. Like, I am an entrepreneur and I built this from the ground up. Or, hey, I know I'm just starting, but you also want to look the part. So it can go hand in hand. So if you want to be taken serious, and especially in like more stuffy spaces, I guess, maybe more depending on what the business is. But let's throw one out there. Maybe you're a dentist, or maybe you're a photographer, or, you really want to let's go with the dentist thing. You want people to take you serious. You want people to trust you. And if you show up looking like you rolled out of bed, is there a good trust level there? Do you look credible? Am I going to feel comfortable sitting there with my mouth open? I feel like it really, even if it's a big project, even if you're maybe in marketing. I have a client that is in marketing. You want to look the part. You want people to be able to trust you. Again, it's not about the labels. It's not about having the most expensive blazer or the most expensive blouse on. That literally means nothing, right? You want to just feel credible. You want to create that trust with your clients. And if you look crazy, you're not going to get that trust.
Yes. It is so true. But I'm thinking, what if you want to build that trust and you want to attract a specific type of client, but you don't feel, let's say you don't see yourself as a blazer type of person, but you really want to attract that high-end client. Do you need to match your style to the person that you want to work with? Do you need to, how do you come up with that more polished version of yourself? What's the middle of that?
Okay. Yes, because there's plenty of people that work from home and they're like, it doesn't make sense for me to show up in a blazer. It makes no sense. Okay. Let's look at your color palette. Let's look at colors. Let's look at fabrics. So let's say, you and your business are more laid back, right? So let's look at maybe better fabrics. So maybe more elevated pieces. Now maybe we get into more items or clothing pieces that are more an investment, right? So maybe better sweaters, maybe better, layering pieces to kind of create. When I say layering pieces, now you're starting to layer on the clothes, not a blazer, but maybe a cardigan, maybe a really nice cardigan that pictures really well or looks better. I think that, that helps. Also, don't discount hair and makeup, you guys. Hair and makeup plays a huge part. Hi, hello. Do your hair, get that blowout, put on a little bit of makeup, maybe add some color. I like bright colors. I'm in black and white right now, but I have my bright lipstick. I just got my nails done. I think looking polished is also a really big factor. It's not just about the clothing. It's about how we carry ourselves. Maybe it's the accessories too. Don't forget accessories. I know a lot of people don't like big, heavy accessories, and that's okay, but you need to put something on. I have a layer stack here, but maybe it's just one, or maybe it's just this little one with little hoops. Trust me, those things make a huge difference when you are not trying to dress up big or huge or like loud or whatever. It's the little things that truly do matter.
And I love that last part that you said of the little things, because if you're listening, you're not watching, I'm going to leave a video on my Instagram. Sophia right now is looking, she has a blazer, she has this layer, she has this color, but her hair is wavy. And that's her personality. I don't think you would maybe show up with a sleek bun and a black blazer, like makeup free, because that's not your personality, but you are looking so great and professional.
Thank you.
With your own hair. Like, you don't have to, I feel like for us, if you have texture hair, maybe you feel the pressure to, I have to look a specific type of way. And it's not about that. It's about planning. How is my hair at its best? Okay. Like, how can I make it shine? And it's not an afterthought. It doesn't look like I just roll out of bed.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you did, I do love a good slick back bun, but I elevate that, because we all have our days. My hair gets dirty, it's greasy. We got to do something quick sometimes, just that happens. But thinking through those little things that people just don't think through, like, who cares about my hair? Who cares if I have a little bit? I don't like to wear makeup. Okay, that's fine, but a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to put on 10 pounds of makeup. You really don't. You don't have to have, you don't need to go to the nail salon and totally get your nails done. Maybe just a top coat, making sure that they're clean, making sure that they're cut or whatever. It's about looking presentable. And someone said something to me one day and I was beside myself. So think of it, and I'm going to say this in my own words because I might butcher this, but, and they related it to dating. So we're not dating here, but you want to be able to respect the other person enough to get dressed. You want to respect their time and respect that, hey, I'm showing up the best that I can for you so that we can have this meeting, so that I can talk to you about my services, so that we can whatever. I think in the date, she said something, I wish I could remember exactly the way this woman put it, but she was like, I'm respecting the other person enough to show up the best way that I can, and it's just like, hey.
I love that because that speaks to high quality, right? Like, like the experience starts with visually looking at me and what I'm doing for you. I love that. Exactly. And it just goes back to, are you going to look credible? Do you look trustworthy? Are you going to make it here on time? Are you going to handle my project correctly? It's all those little things that you really don't think matter, but they do. I mean, just like people ask me, should I wear the colors in my branding for my photo shoots or whatever? You don't have to. But it could be nice. You know what I mean? You want to strategically think through all those things. You want to, depending, like if you have a photo shoot, I can go on a tangent about that, but the little things. That was actually my next question. What a flawless, we are in sync. My next question, because I want to talk about color. Yeah. I think that color can make a huge difference. You don't have to, and you are great with color. So I think I really need to pick your brain with this. Color, do it needs to match our branding? Does it need to match our branding? But question one. And if you don't have professionally done branding, or maybe your branding is very minimalist, should your colors be minimalist in terms of what you're wearing? Like, or should you, let's say you got your logo done 5 years ago and it looked super cute on your Pinterest board, and now you're like, I would never wear these colors on myself. Should you be thinking about rebranding? Like, what should be the relationship between your color palette and your outfits and like what you like to wear?
Okay, great question. So it really comes down to the person, because there's some colors that I love that I cannot wear. So And it depends if your brand is loud or not. So let's go with the minimalistic one. I'll answer both. So if you're like, I have 3 colors in my brand, and they're all more neutral tone. Well, you don't always have to dress neutral, right? I think that can almost lead boring and not exciting, and it might not grab anyone's attention. So you could wear a pop of color if you're more minimalistic, but you don't have to. Let me see. Like, and then if you have, a color in the branding that just doesn't suit you and you want to wear it, let's say you do want to wear like this chartreuse yellow green and it's beautiful and it's like your main color and you love it, but you can't wear it. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe you do a nail color. Maybe it's an accessory. Maybe it's an earring. Maybe it's in a print, but it's not a dominant color in the print of what you're wearing. There's ways around it. But I think to answer your question correctly, you don't have to. You really don't have to. It's almost like a nice to have. If you can incorporate it into your brand photos, I think it's a nice to have for when you're marketing, when you're printing things, or maybe it's an aesthetic design on your socials or on your website header. I think it's nice to have. I know personally, I don't think I'm wearing any of my peachy color in my
How do you choose your peachy colors? Like, do you choose the peachy colors, or do you do your own personal brand style and then you choose your brand colors?
I just fell in love with the peachy color, and I was like, I loved like the rose gold, and I loved like all those earthy tones, and I picked it because I felt like it was elevated. It was just speaking to me authentically at that time. It was like calm, elevated, but I was like, how am I going to incorporate it with my bright side? And it's funny that we're talking about this because I do plan to change it up because I want to add like a red or brighter orange to it to make it pop more. But you know what? I mean, I don't think it's when I definitely chose I already had that color in mind, but I already knew my aesthetic was kind of bright and out there. But I'm really all over the place with my style. I'm not like in a box. I do have items in my closet that is that peachy color. And sometimes I show up in that color in a networking event or something like that, but not all the time. Because typically...
And you have the experience on that. Like, you have so much experience that you are able to have this eclectic style because you've dominated the basis of it.
Exactly. And so for example, for when I get dressed strategically for a networking event, I think about, okay, who's going to be there? Who do I want to attract? I try to pick something loud and colorful so that I get noticed. I want people to be able to see me in the room. I want people to be like, oh my gosh, who is that? I need to go talk to that person. I think when those of us who are shy and like it's hard to approach people, especially in like a sea of women or there's like a lot of people, I think it's smart to have like almost like a conversation starter that you're wearing something like that so that people can come up to you and be like, hey, oh my gosh, I love those earrings. So what do you do? And like, I think that really helps. It helps for my clients, but I want people to see me in the room. So I think that's what I'm kind of known for these past few years, is showing up in something bright and attractive. And so people will be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're that one girl that was wearing that bright blue blazer that one day I've been trying to talk to you since, or like whatever. I think that's, for me strategically, I want to stand out. I want people to see me, recognize me, and then remember me, right? I think we all want to be remembered, especially when we're out there trying to get clients. Like maybe you weren't able to pass out your business card or pass out your information, but they might remember you because of your outfit.
Oh, I love that. So I'm thinking, if you are rebranding, you want to start elevating your brand, it sounds to me which it might be a non-popular way of going about it, you should first, if you're going to be a personal brand business, you should first have your style created, your colors, and from there have your logo and your brand colors. Because what I'm thinking is, and I'm going through this process myself, sometimes I'm attracted to things because they look pretty and I love it on someone else. And I'm like, oh, I love it. But then I'm like, I don't know if this is me. I just think it looks great. So I'm thinking going the other way around, like going to your designer with, hey, I already worked with a stylist. This is what I want to communicate. This is my style. These are my colors. And then having your designer work from there would be a better representation of your brand.
Yes. And I think either way, there's no wrong way. It just depends what your goal is. Now, I think for you, I think that's a great idea. I think that's if you are, you have your style down, or at least the aesthetic, what you're going for, it will be easier to get dressed to show up in the way that you really want to, and then aligning that story. I think that is amazing, all the things that you just said, because it makes sense, right? So, you want to make sure, just like any brand, I think we talked about this last time we spoke, but just like any brand, your packaging, which is you and the way that you show up, it should be purposeful and intentional. So getting down to your style, what story you want to tell, how you want to feel, right? Because that's important. The way you want to feel is super important. How do you want others to see you? We can have control of how people perceive us most of the time, not all the time. And then what goals do you have? What do you want to take your business next level? Or do you want to keep it cool, calm, and local? Like what is that? And I think from there, then you can almost then take and like you said, go to your designer and build your logo. Then you can be like, okay, what colors would help me achieve those things?
I love that. I think there's a lot about color psychology and it's pretty good stuff. But when it comes to your style and your aesthetic, there's a lot of confusion, because I was kind of looking to what people are saying on social media when it comes to style and business. And then we have these trends like the clean girl aesthetic, the mob wife, and then we have the typical entrepreneur look. So I would love to give our listeners not a full class on universal styles and not too deep, but maybe the answer is not. But are there any categories that they can start self-identifying with to start experimenting, kind of like more serious or you're more natural, and kind of categories that you see most of your clients that are, because you specialize in entrepreneurs, which is very interesting. You understand these public persona, you understand the financial goals, and you understand that they have families. So with your clients, are there any main styles or aesthetics that usually work so that people listening, they can identify? And I'm thinking they could go to Pinterest and start looking for inspiration and just get the ball rolling now that they kind of thought about their colors.
Right. Okay. Good question. Okay. And if I start to go off track, reel me back in. So
no, go off track. We have no track.
I just trying to think. I mean, like for the clean girl aesthetic, that can read so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're in beauty, right? Maybe you're an injector. Maybe you do facials and Botox and all. I feel like the clean girl aesthetic is really heavy. That's what I think immediately, right? They're typically more minimalistic, very sleeked back, minimal makeup, because they want to show off the good skin they have, because that's what they're doing, But then I've had a client to where she's like, yeah, love that. That's great. That's great. That's great. But I want to feel sexy. I want to feel this and that. Okay, that's totally fine too. We don't have to, I think there's a fine line about being sexy at work and when you're selling, when you're I think there's a fine line. You want to make sure that you're selling the right thing. You're not giving off any bad impressions or anything like that. So going back to, when I guess the things that are trending, the only thing that's really worked for my clients is really try all of it. Try it. See how you feel in that clean girl aesthetic. Go out. Maybe put, sleek your hair back. Maybe do just like the minimal hoops, clean, easy makeup, nothing crazy. Maybe dress monochromatic and just see how you feel. You know what I mean? Then maybe the next time try something else, maybe that you saw on Pinterest. Like go through your Pinterest boards if you already have that done and try a little bit of everything. Maybe if you don't have any of those items in your closet, go to the mall. Go to the mall and try it all on. Now, I'm going to step back a little bit because I know that's time consuming. It is time consuming. Not everybody has that time. But I promise you, if you do take the time to do these things, you will have a clearer vision of where you want to go in your style and in your business. You won't feel as confused. You know what I mean? And I think even going to the mall and doing those things sometimes can even confuse you even more, but at least you've tried it. Mm-hmm. You're not obligated to buy anything. You can tell the sales associates to leave you alone on that, because they'll try to get you to buy stuff that you don't want to buy. Don't do that. They're working on commission. You just say, hey, I'm okay. I just need to try on all these things. And see how you feel in a sexier outfit. See how you feel in something a little bit baggier. See how you feel in all these different trends that you're seeing. And then go from there. And I would encourage you to buy nothing. Mm-hmm. Buy nothing and then go home and think about it. Which for some is fine. And for some people, like, I couldn't help myself. I bought all these things. And I'm like, well, we said.
That's me. Oh my gosh.
No, it just, I think, does that answer your question?
Yes. What are some words so they can start looking for Pinterest for inspiration? Like, what are some keywords that they could start seeing if they like? So we have the clean girl aesthetic. What other keywords they could go and look for?
That's a good question. You can always put in what's trending, like trends for 2024 or whatever. But I caution that because being trendy and having style, personal style, two different animals, two totally different things.
I love that.
Right? Because having style is not worrying about what's trending. It's taking the pieces. It's buying things that you are drawn to and that you like, and then it's reworking that into a way that you like it on your body. The way that I would wear this blazer might not be the same way that you would wear it or the next person. Having style is really wearing what you like in the way that you like it. Ignoring the trends, right? So you can add in some trendy items in there so you're more current, but you don't have to. Now, on the flip side, being trendy has nothing to do with personal style. It's following the trends. You don't care about if it looks good on you. You don't care if it flatters your body. And then once that trend is done, you're not wearing it anymore. But I still caution people, still tell people, look it up. See if there's anything in there that you do like. So there's trends. There's the clean girl aesthetic. Look up prints. Look up, there was another one that just came to mind. I mean, even just typing in garments like skirts, jeans, because it's going to populate a bunch of different kinds of jeans. Or looking up, work casual, or even I think casual work attire is a good one that I typically go to because then it gives me different categories in there. So let me see. There's some other ones that I know I'm missing, but even typing in like cool girl or Southern, depending if you like that Southern vibe, or even Caribbean, even a Caribbean vibe. You can even tie your keywords into places because it's going to, it's going to populate that. If you type in like Caribbean vibe or Caribbean dressing, you're going to get colors and like more, just more loud, maybe more skirts, maybe more, flowy items, maybe puffy sleeves, all that kind of stuff. Maybe cute little sets. Mm-hmm. You can also, I know it's not really for work, but you can do like vacation things because it's going to populate anything and everything under that category.
Yeah. But if you're a makeup artist, maybe this vacation wear, it's goes with your brand, right? If you have a very creative job.
Exactly. So I have worked with makeup artists. A lot of times they wear black, but
Yes.
not all of them. Not all of them. But sometimes they are more, jeans and a t-shirt. Maybe sometimes they are like a nice blouse and then some jeans, or maybe they're in a black top with something fun at the bottom. It really just depends. Even typing in like anthropology, right? Even like a store, it's going to populate the anthropology vibe.
Oh, I love that. And I think you made such a good point. It's not about trend and style is not the same. And I think maybe we're overwhelmed because we feel like we need to look trendy. And I feel like being trendy is kind of a style. These are people that are very fashion aware and their passion is to just follow the trends and be ahead of the curve. But if you look at Victoria Beckham, for example, she's not a trendy person, but she always looks current because she has such an important sense of style. And I guess what you're saying is it's not a formula. Just start looking at what you're attracted to and make a game plan about, okay, what am I going to start incorporating and kind of semi-committing for maybe a season and seeing, hey, how did I feel about this leather jacket after a month? Because, one time it's going to be weird. But then how did I feel about it after a while, right? Like making those experiments.
Yeah, exactly. And even experiment in your own closet. Pour yourself some wine, make yourself some tea, maybe a coffee, and play with your clothes. Invite a friend, invite one of us, like with your clothes, there are like outfit formulas, you know what I mean, that you can make and take photos. I think it's important to take photos so that you can look back, on it. Did I like this? Like maybe I liked it in the mirror, but when I see it in the photo, maybe not so much. Or see, sometimes it's hard to see the things that don't flatter us, but we can see it in the camera, but maybe not in the mirror. I know that's happened to me a few times, honestly, to where I'm like, oh, I look so cute. Like, I love this skirt. Like, oh my God, I love it. And then I look at someone takes a photo of me and I'm like, oh, I look so unproportional. Like, what is happening? So,
Yes.
I mean, it gets to everybody. And I think it's important to just try and test it out. And, another tidbit that I'm going to give you guys is that even though you're in the fitting room, let's say you're trying on things that you would never try on, that you're like, I'm never going to buy this, but I just want to try and see. So when you're in the fitting room, turn away from the mirror. Don't look at yourself. Put on the outfit, button it up, zip it up, do what you need to do. And before you turn around and look at yourself, just kind of just like, okay, how do I feel? Give yourself like move a little bit, maybe do a squat and come back up. Like, is this comfortable? Do I feel weird? Is the fabric, close your eyes and take note. How does the fabric feel against my skin? Am I going to be itchy? Am I already fidgety? Like, how do you feel before looking, right? Then turn around and be like, oh, okay.
It's giving me Dario for princess vibes, when only Paolo can go from this and then he opens it to this.
Exactly. I think once you start playing around with all those things and then you really sit down, write down your goals. Where do you want to take this business? Are you more structured? Do we need to buy maybe more structured items? What are your colors? What are they going to be? And they can change. So don't overthink the colors too much. Maybe you pick one, maybe you pick one that looks good with your skin so that you're able to wear it if you to do so. I think it's really important to think through, what you want to say with your appearance. Again, just like any brand, trying to think, do I have anything around me? Like a Coca-Cola, I don't have one of those. I spent a lot of time and money in doing those logos. That is you. That is your appearance.
I love that.
If not,
so we have the. That's what I was gonna say. I feel like if you and working with a stylist doesn't have to feel like it's a long-term commitment, because you can start with a small package, maybe get your closet decluttered. Like, there are so many baby steps that you can take, and that's so beautiful. make sure that someone understands you and hears you, and they're not trying to make you into a photocopy of whatever trendy. There was a season where there was this type of influencer entrepreneur that they were wearing a lot of hats, and suddenly everyone started wearing hats, and it wasn't looking authentic for those people the way sorry, there's thunders.
That's okay.
It wasn't authentic for those people the way it was for the original entrepreneur. So I think working with someone who can hear you, it's gonna be the best investment. I do want to ask you, because this is part 2 of this. You have your daily style, but what about your photo shoot style? I have clients that they postpone photo shoots for so long because they're like, I'm not looking my best, or like, these feel so huge and important, and like they should be the best look in the world, and how do I make it look different? And it's so overwhelming, and they just don't do it, and then they keep having pictures from 5 years ago. So can you walk us through kind of like overview on choosing your style for a photo shoot, or the concept, or like how do you approach it so it feels very an amazing experience? It feels like you look like you, and you also feel confident with where you are right now.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Edit this out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I was wondering,
In Central
make you go play basketball with friends.
Okay, I'm on the call. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I thought it was an emergency.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. So to answer your question, absolutely. I mean, you're right. A lot of people do postpone it because they get such bad anxiety. What do I wear? I don't like my body right now. When I lose 20 pounds, when I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to book it and I'm going to do this and do that. No. I understand if it happens once or twice, but I think first off, I tell my clients this, and I tell people this all the time: love yourself enough to love what you look like today, right? Look at yourself in the mirror, love yourself enough to just say yes. Okay. Everybody goes through seasons, especially women. We get depressed. We have anxiety. We don't, maybe we've had a really crazy 6 weeks and we just ate what we could. And so now we put on a couple pounds, or maybe we're taking medicine that puts on pounds. Don't punish yourself for that. We're going through season. Maybe you just had a baby. Maybe you just got divorced. I've had all these clients. Respect yourself. Love yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm going to book it. I'm not going to let my business suffer for me not loving what I see in the mirror. Okay. You can take photos again later. Okay. When you lose 20 pounds, that's fine. Book another session. You know what I mean? Or maybe you do a small branding session. Don't do the full on 5 outfits thing if you're not comfortable with it. Do the mini session. Find yourself a photographer that does mini sessions to where you can do 2-3 outfits and call it a day. And those are your photos for the year. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think that's really important to not, if you're not feeling it, don't do a full branding package. Do the small one. And then what was the other part to your question?
The process of
oh, yes,
planning this. I have to say that I love that of loving yourself, mm-hmm. and also loving your business, because I think I wanted to make a pause there. I think it is important because as women, it's true. It's so hard to maybe, because we are personal brands. So there is this gray line when we look at all these celebrities. They are personal brands as well, and they look fabulous the whole time, but we are businesses. So we have lives and we have families. We don't have necessarily, and we have hormones, which is also happens. A lot of entrepreneurs have been in business for 10, 15 years, and things are not working for them like they once used to. So I love this grace-filled approach. And yet the second part of my question was, how do you go about planning your brand shoot so it looks authentic? It doesn't look like copy and pasting from something else you saw, but it also doesn't feel stressful. It's like kind of this blend of being unique and fun and and just loving it, but also having a plan and making sure that it fits your strategy.
Exactly. Okay. So first of all, love it. Give yourself grace. Number 2, give yourself time and do not try to do this last minute. It never works out. It never works out when you try to do anything last minute. You're spending money on this branding shoot, whether it's a mini one or a big one. Girl, no, don't do that. Give yourself time. Plan it out. Like we already touched on, do you want to wear, a brand color? Do you not? Are you going to wear it, or is it going to be an accessory? Is it going to be on your nails? Is it going to be on your lips? Is it going to be whatever? Or you're not going to wear it at all? Figure that part out immediately. I know we touched on this before, but what story do you want to tell? And so what I mean when I say that, do you want to come off as relatable? Do you want to be seen as more structured, right? Because that's all going to coincide with what you pick. So if you want to be a more structured person, or like your brand is more structured, then maybe we get some, angular, cuts or, something fun, right? That has like maybe it's asymmetrical, or maybe it has like some notches on the side, or maybe some cutouts or something like that. Something classy. Or are you more like a classy minimalistic brand? Like figure that out, because you can't choose your outfits if you don't know what your business is or what you are. Are you more sporty? Are you more fun? Are you, you have to figure out what that is, because then there's going to be a disconnect. You can't have like a loud brand that's maybe like fun and colorful like this, and then show up wearing all black. Like that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense for the brand. You know what I mean? So once you figure that out. Now, another thing, are you going to buy your clothes, or are you going to rent them? Now, think through that one. If this is something that you like, okay, I really want to wear something loud and colorful, but then I never want to be seen in it again, that's okay. Rent it. Rent your items and then send it right back. There's some pros and cons to that, but it works for most of my clients. So once you got that down, then think through, is this going to be, or how long are these photos going to last me? Or is it just for a year? Or maybe I just want to have them for 2 years. If this is a bigger branding photo shoot, maybe we want to figure out, maybe have one fall outfit in there. So when fall or winter comes around, we have an appropriate photo for that.
So maybe point.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like you throw on a sweater or a jacket, maybe a leather jacket or something, and then, you're going to have photos for that time of year. Or if you're taking photos in the fall or winter, maybe have a summer outfit in there. Maybe it's like summer colors, or vice versa. It's the fall colors. Think through, like, are these pictures going to be evergreen? And if that won't matter if you're like, because I know some people buy packages, branding photo shoots that they do once a quarter, and you don't have to worry about that. But think through that and talk to your photographer about that. Another good one is talk to your photographer about the background. Is it white? Is it clean? You don't want to be clashing with the background. So if you love color and you love print, we need to know what's behind you, because that's going to look weird as well.
Do you prefer in studio photos or outdoors with natural lighting?
I love both, and I've done both, and my clients have done both. I think the other photographers that I work with, they do both. So they start off in the studio, and then we'll have, at the end, they'll go outside in their last outfit. So I think it's smart to have both. I really do think, because I feel like you can capture more versatility and more personality outside too. Another good one is, let's say you do have a bigger photo shoot for your brand. Try to make a quick change. Maybe you're wearing the same trousers or shorts or pants, skirt, whatever, but you're going to do a quick top change, maybe at the very end, just to try to utilize that time you have with the photographer. So I do this all the time. I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, we're almost done. Take off that top, throw on this cami or this silk blouse, tuck it in. Let's do this really quick, like a literally 60-second change. Get back out in front of the camera. And in that quick changing moment, you have another outfit per se, but you still have the same bottoms on. Or maybe it's different shoes or something to quickly change. So you're not spending all that time taking everything off and putting a whole new outfit on.
Should entrepreneurs do very artistic photo shoots where I've seen some that I love just like laying on the floor or looking through the window, and I love them, but I'm wondering, is that good for entrepreneurs or should they be more like serious on their desk? What do you think?
No, I think both. I think it's good to have both. You want to have personality. You want to attract people when they go to your website. You don't want to be like this all the time.
Crossing your arms, like very LinkedIn 2005.
Exactly. Or like no, come on. If you have personality, show it. Have fun with the photo shoot. Like, have fun. If you're not having fun, you're going to see it through the photos. So I always tell my clients the outfit that you don't like the least, or start with the outfit that you're like, with, because you need to give yourself time to warm up. Save the best outfits for last, because you've already warmed up. You're already like good to go in front of the camera. Put on music. Like, don't make it boring. If you need to bring a friend to your photo shoot to help you loosen up, do that. It makes a big difference. I brought my sister to my photo shoot, so I wouldn't feel so nervous. It makes a big difference when you are surrounded by people that you feel comfortable with. And like when choosing your photographer, make sure that you guys have a good relationship, that you feel comfortable telling him or her, hey, like, this is what I want. Like, this is what I need. This is how I want to feel. This is what I'm trying to say through these photos. And if you're already uncomfortable telling that person these things, you might need to find someone else.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we're almost out of time, and I really want to first thank you for being here and for giving us so much information. I really think if someone took notes, and you're going to have all the show notes, they're going to make a big difference. But I definitely think that working with someone like you is a good investment when they're trying to elevate their brand. So what are the ways in which someone can work with you, get in touch with you? Because I feel like you're such a great listener, and that's the most important quality when you work with a personal stylist and you're not necessarily a model and you don't care about their personality. You just need to look trendy. When you are a personal brand, you need to be heard, you need to be understood. So how can someone work with you and just enter your world?
Well, thank you so much for all of those beautiful compliments. Reach out to me on through my website or even on Instagram. I will say right now, I'm not Facebook is not the best way to reach me at all. Sometimes I forget to check Facebook, but my Instagram is the stylstudio.sophia. And then my website is the stylstudio.me. And you can reach me there. And I always say book a call with me. Book a call with me because there's the packages and services that I offer that are not on the website. I have my basic things on the website there, but maybe something you see on there, you don't need everything in that package. I'm always open to build a package to your needs, and we could start small. Maybe you say like, oh my gosh, I have a brand photo shoot coming up and I just need to start at the brand photo shoot. Okay, I'm here to meet you where you are. I'm here to meet you where you're, wherever style stage you are at, whether we need to start from the bottom and go up, or we need to work together for 6 months and each month we tackle something else. Really depends on what you need. And, it depends on what, where you're at in your style and what your needs are. You can always start small and then you can add on.
Amazing. You're going to have all the information down in the description, the show notes of this episode. Thank you so much, Sophia, for being here. I feel like I could be asking you 1,000 questions, but thank you for being so open. And I'm sure listeners are going to find so much value here.
Oh, well, I hope so. And if you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'm always an open book, and I'll answer you. Don't worry.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I hope you loved this episode. If you connected with the podcast in some way, please rate it and review it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That is the #1 way you can support the show. And because sharing is caring, Share it with a fellow entrepreneur wanting to become a leader, not just a creator. I am so grateful for you. I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM over to @eugenia.woo. That's @EUGENIA.WOO. And if you only send me a microphone emoji, I will know that you stayed till the end. Thank you for listening. See you soon.